Okay, thank you very much.
Areas that go with it.
Mhm.
And being where it is, outside of an urban area, we saw the little villages, Vassar and Vicar,
Mhm.
and around it, and thought that in doing this resort, we'd build similar small communities
Mhm.
based on what we saw in the area.
A new luxury village.
Luxury village, but also aimed at retirees as well as in small residences,
Mhm.
as well as other investors in large villages, but people who didn't particularly want to be on the beach, and that was a change that I think people in Cyprus were seeing, that many people as they aged didn't want to go to the beach and to the ocean every day. They wanted to spend time learning things, and that's the sort of thing that we were creating in that community of Andreas Kaisis.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and it's a project that you think that can attract more tourists in Cyprus?
Yes, and attract a different sort of tourist to the ones that want to go to the beach. We spent about 3 years putting that plan together, and then we hit the world economic crisis, and new resorts, new thoughts weren't the thing of the moment, and so we backed off, and then Cyprus had its own financial crisis, and that crisis created some opportunities, and I think your government changed. The philosophies, business-wise, of the present government are very different to what we experienced in 2005, 2006, 2007, and there's an interest there in creating opportunities for the business to grow in Cyprus, which didn't exist back then.
The question is that this project will finish because in Cyprus, because we have many times that for many projects, and it was only words. Do you promise that this project will finish and we will have this project in Cyprus?
Well, here's the thing: if you build a vertical resort, when you start the foundation, you got to finish it. You got to keep going till they put on the roof. And when you build something that is spread out, as this resort is, you do it in phases. And when the market's ready, to do one phase, you do that phase. So we start with the hotel, and we start with some of the clinical areas, and then we gradually add assisted living, retirement living.
When will it start, and when do you plan to finish it?
We're still working on some things with the government. I met with government ministers this morning. There's still some small things to complete, which we have their total support to get them done. And I would guess that by the end of the year we'll have those done. Once that is done, we then have to get into putting in the infrastructure. It needs a new road up there. You can't take all the traffic through those little villages. The people would go crazy. So we have to develop the new road. We have to bring in electricity and the water and so on. So that should start early 2015, certainly by the middle of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once that is done, I would think that we'll start the vertical construction sometime before the end of 2015. And probably 18 months to build the hotel.
So in 2017?
Yeah, late 2016, early
Mm-hmm.
2017.
The hotel and the clinic. Okay, so it's before I go to my last question, it's we are planning to invest about, if I don't make a mistake, about 300 millions.
The whole the whole development will cost about 300 million. It's anticipated that there will be sales
Mm-hmm.
of some of the residential property, so we may never actually use all of the 300 million.
You will hire how many people for the project?
How many people will live there eventually?
No. Will work for the project. New jobs.
At the height of the construction,
Mm-hmm.
close to 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm. You will prefer Cypriots.
I'm sorry.
You will choose Cypriots.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We'll. One of the things that where we can create value is because of the developments we're doing all over. We can optimize construction costs, and so it's quite likely that there will be some construction management from outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
You have some very good construction people here too,
Mm-hmm.
but we think we can minimize some costs by doing that. But all of the people who work on the ground are going to be Cypriots. I would say 95% of the people in the hotel when it's built will be from here. You've got some of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. So, are you planning more investment in Cyprus, and in which fields? And if you want to comment about the Lydra Palace.
You can talk about that, but there are some other things too.
Mm-hmm.
There are some projects here that have been well planned. They've started, and they've come into the financial crunch. They don't find it easy to get the capital to take them to the next step.